Okay, this is Lansdowne, 12th of April, reverse course. Pretty fast off the gun, and then the whole group sort of slowed down a bit. I think we had 26 in the group. And there was a team of 4, no other teams, just one that was collaborating from the beginning. I think they're at the front right now. So it was extremely chilled to start with. And they were just up the front controlling the pace really. And I'm sitting in trying to stay on the wheel a bit more, which I don't do too well later. One of the guys, Del, told me, but not in an aggressive way, just like, anyway, great course. Perfect conditions, just a little bit of a chill in the air. And I believe there was a fluffy dog on the course, with a lady walking around with his fluff ball, which I have recreated on the cover image of this video. I saw them a couple of times going around. I was thinking, well, 26 riders hitting one of those lap dogs, it's not going to be pretty. But I think one of the Waratah Masters guys came and warned her. I do like the single file stuff. Eastern Creek can get quite fragmented with the width, and this left right down here is such a nice transition. So I was feeling pretty good. And obviously we're not really pushing the pace much. As I say that, we are pushing the pace, but pretty much every lap we would push there. So I think that's only 5%. I thought it was more than that hill, but... And then as we come around here onto the straight, it just slowed down. I think maybe this is the lap. To a point where I was like, this is too slow, and it kind of annoyed me. And so I think maybe this is where I pop out, and I was like, nah, I'm going to speed this up a bit. Yeah, it was like we were on a Sunday stroll. There's one of the team on the left there. He did an excellent job of controlling the bunch. And then, yeah, so I was just like, I'm going to bring this. What we were doing, 150 watts around there. So I thought I'd speed it up a bit. Not ideal energy conservation, but I don't know, I just felt like it didn't. And then I'm down here, I'm putting down some watts, but I think maybe I should have sustained a bit more, although I was never really going to commit to staying off the front for the entire hour. What are we in? 4.5 minutes in. Go to breakaway. I think that's too early. So I knew I wasn't going to stay out there, but this snail pace was bothering me. And that was pretty much my attitude for the whole race, to be honest, although I didn't try and get away after this. I taught myself a lesson. Yeah, and then they were back. I did look around and I saw, okay, well, they're chasing. Maybe this guy is going to go up the front. And then there's the team there, number 38. 4 in the team, 1 sitting back, and just controlled the pace when his guys got ahead. It was very well done. This hill became quite the grind later on in the race, obviously on the last lap, but the finish line is right at the top here. I'll mark it out. I think that's one of the guys on the side there looking out for fluffy dogs. And right at the top here, 40 played a really good role. He was fast and all the way to the end, really. And yeah, so the finish line was up here. I got pushed off into the side there at one point. I haven't seen it. I'll be interested to see what happened. And then we would just get down to a snail's pace here. Now, I don't know whether we were slowing down because cars go across there. I don't know, but like clockwork, we would be doing nothing down this straight. And on many occasions when I wanted to move up, I would just slide into the right-hand side and just move through. Okay, there's the team. So they're coordinating now. Everyone's watching them. Spoiler, they do win this race. And one of the ex-A graders came in second, and then I believe it was Mark in third. It was a bit of a battle for third place in the end because they got away. But there were quite a few occasions where I and others chased back the group because it was getting pretty critical. And also, I don't really want to ride a race where I sit in. I've decided maybe I will change my mind, but it's not my style, and I like to push it a bit. I'm hoping that's going to help me in the long run. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm learning, so we'll see. So not too bad on the wheels here. There's a big bump there too, which every lap I would be ready for. I tried to stay in aero position better. When I get really tired, I tend to do this kind of like hunchy, elbow outy kind of thing, and I caught myself doing it, and it's not aero and it's not efficient, and I forced myself out of it, and I get a little bit more power, a bit faster, even though it seems to hurt more. I believe this female rider ahead of us is maybe a national champion, or was. But man, her navigation through the group was amazing. On the descent, just the way she shuffled around was awesome. So I don't know why I'm doing this right now, to be honest with you. Back to my earlier point of not sitting in. But I was aware of what the team was doing, although at the moment there's only one of them up there. There's Freight Train up front. Number 68, I think he is the guy who always smashes up the hill there. And again, look at this, so slow, not mega headwind, always gets strung out, although I suppose in this course it kind of has to. This is where it gets a bit dangerous when you've got a team that were very well coordinated. generally have a drink on that bit we just went past. And generally chilled. Like I know I sort of started by saying it was a pretty hard race, but it gets hard. And I think everyone's just waiting for that team to attack, really. There's one of their guys. I mean, there's quite a lot of pressure on the team too. If you've got 4 guys, you better win. But I think they actually had a bit of a clash at the end. So, ascending the final climb, I passed 2 of their guys, and I think they bumped into each other. So I don't know the full story there, but yeah, there was a bit of twitchiness in this. I did notice a few times. Almost not. I would not say they were close collisions, but there was a bit of aversion to stuff going on, evasion. Where do I get pushed off the side? That's what it definitely happens. I'm here. I was running my tyres a little bit lower on this because it can get a bit bumpy, and it was more comfortable, and I don't think I lost any watts. It's really nice the way people are like cheering you on the side there as well. And one of my mates is there having a look. He said, they look pretty easy, mate. And I was like, that's because everyone slows down in that part. Well, anyway, I don't think he exactly said that, but it was definitely, every time we came around, it seemed like we were just coasting laps. A grade passed us much later in the race, so we kept the pace up, and there were no spinnakers on numbers today. I pinned mine right down at the top and the bottom this time. I don't know, maybe flapping is not good. I think it would slow you down, right? Now look at this. This is too much space. What the hell? Unnecessary watts to catch up. Oh. 42 Ks. Okay. Whoa. There we go. Actually, I take it all back about A grade. They overtook us really quickly. Forgot about that. Oh, they did leave ahead of us though, so I suppose there is that. team member. He's been chilling. There we go. Wait, no, that's A grade. Got a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, that really does make us look like we're standing still. I might cut up this movie because of boring, but the stuff does happen. Have faith, things are going to happen. That guy 10 something, he's going to control us at the back there. I'm right at the front again. And they're just waiting. We all know it's going to happen. See if you can spot the fluffy dog. I thought I saw it. Again, I think I was having a chat with someone here. I can't remember what it was about. I have to see who it is. Oh yeah, I think maybe the guys, I'm hoping I'm getting this right, I think his name was Ryan, but he was thinking exactly what I was thinking, which was that these guys are going to go and we need to watch what they're going to do, the team. Agree. And there's a little gap opening up. Obviously he pushed there, and then we've got a bit of a gap opening, which I worry about, because if they're going to hit on the top, then I'm going to have to drop a lot of watts, which I do later. In fact, I pushed to catch up. I think I decided I didn't like what was going on here. Pushed up. But later on I pushed up to the group, and I was surprised that later I still had more power later as well. Apart from the sprint, unfortunately. There you go. I don't think you can really blame him there. But I was a tad worried. But you get used to it. Pace has picked up, you can see it. I'm always watching 64 because he's fast. He's got a really interesting style and efficient too. And he moves up well. Like, we just made up a lot of wheels there, and it was no effort. That's the spot to do it. If everyone just to watch this video, everyone's going to be like that. Well, we're not going to do that anymore, I suppose. But you know, the right people when they're moving up, just getting in their slipstream and watching how they're doing it. pinching a little bit here, which was a tad sketchy, but it was not too bad. Number 38, is it? She stayed in a really good aero position the whole time, I noticed. I think I could do better with mine. There was a couple of times where I got aero, and I've been improving my flexibility so I can get into an aero position better, stretching every day. And I think it's been helping. I've got the LA Sprint, which is almost a cliche of crit racing. I think this is Mario in 42, and he's a good one. His filtering's good. As I've mentioned before, drafting behind him is not great, but the LA Sprint is quite an aggressive configuration, and if you're not flexible enough, it's not really going to work that well. This is the feedback that I got from bike fitters, and so yeah, slamming at the bars, you don't want to do that unless you can actually get down that way. Otherwise it's going to be uncomfortable, it's not going to work. There we go, there's the team now, they're hitting it. I think maybe I yelled out they're going. Okay, we did respond. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not letting that go. It's too early. But look, I think they have gone. I was a bit bunched up there. And this is the beginning of me and others having to drag things back. Oh, by the way, my GPS is not working. It did something absolutely funky whereby it did a couple of laps and then I cut through the middle of the course, which I didn't, and I also did, like, I doubled back and came back through. It's a new unit, it's the Wahoo Bolt 3, and something really weird is happening, so factory resetting it, and that's why we don't have a map and we don't have a lap count, and also the distance will stop working later on. So I don't know what's wrong with it, but at least I have the power meter and my heart rate and the speed for a while until the last lap or something. Number 50 did quite well. He's quite powerful, and I thought he'd won this race before, but he said he hadn't. I was actually digging to see if he had, because I was going to watch his moves, but he still was in the top 5, I believe. So my instinct was right, he was fast. And he's got quite a good technique too, so that just makes a difference when you're following someone who's like that. It's easier, although I don't think I'm close enough on this wheel, so I rectify that. But I think I do a little bit more power coming up here because I'm not on the wheel as tight as I could be, and in many other places too. I saw at one point, Freight Train, he had to twitch really fast off the back of someone who either hit the brakes or slowed down, and that's the kind of thing that worries me when I'm right on someone's wheel. But I suppose you can respond quickly. I used to ride into the city every day and battle the traffic and, go off gutters, jump off gutters, do all that kind of stuff. But I was never really following. I suppose I was following cars, but never following bike wheels super tight. So it's something I'm working on. And here we go again. Beautiful. Just glorious up the side. Well, I think 50 wasn't having it. But he's got a really good kick. You can just see it right there. And I think we see it later up that hill where I'm fading. Yeah, I haven't actually had a finish yet, I think, in any crit race in this series where I've had my full sprint power at the end. Which, I mean, obviously we've been doing a race, but I haven't been able to hit my max watts. I didn't mind a bit of the inside line there, apart from the mega bump at the start of it. But we were getting quite fast here. I mean, it's quick in that sort of windy, tight. It was a hard race. It was easy in the beginning, and it just continued to ramp up, really. And I was sort of searching, like, what's going up the front there? Is there a breakaway? It was hard to tell. There was. But I don't think it was that far. I yelled out, how far is it up the top here? And they're like, you've got 20 minutes. I don't want to know how long left we've got. How far ahead are they? But obviously, I didn't have the breath to be asking that. I think that the team did make one mistake early, and that was they did chase teammates. And I remember thinking, oh, maybe they're not going to coordinate that well, but they did. I know 40 and I somewhat work together at some point. Okay, so there's a group off the front, and I'm thinking I need to do something here, because maybe not here, but we need to catch those guys. Because if they get off front and then there's another group and then they chase down the top two guys, that's it. Number 4 came third, I believe, and he was watching what was going on. So he must be chasing number 40 down, because he's very good at drafting. But I remember thinking now, like, this is really stringing out, and now there's multiple groups. This is actually quite bad. And I was planning on welding it back together, giving it whatever I could, and burning lots of matches. But, it's like, why not? maybe it would have come together naturally and I would have had more power, but I don't know. I just have the feeling that if I can continue to push, continue to kind of, I wouldn't say be aggressive, but in the long run that would be better for me. So that's the plan. And then number 38's doing almost no work, because why would he? He's got 3 teammates up the road, or at least 2, I think. Okay, maybe this is now I decide something has to be done. Can I see the other group? Okay, it's speeding up now. Okay, so there's 2 of the team with us. Someone's pushing the pace. That could be number 4, Mark, off the front there. No. But we're definitely losing them. And then this team is like, man, they were disruptive later. It was like perfect teamwork. I can't remember if it was 38 or 105, but we were working to bring things back, and he was just the third wheel. Is that where that saying comes from? I don't know, but he was getting between us, and it was annoying, and you know, that works. So these guys, I think they realise this guy's just going to slow the pace down completely. Yeah, I mean, we're putting down decent watts here. But there they are. The team is just like disrupting. Surely I wasn't having a look down there. Okay, so I think they've got 1 off the front now, and 3 here. And then Mark, number 4, is pushing up because he knows what's going on. And then number 49, he also knows what's going on, and we need to get past these guys. Well, they were, but I mean, they're pushing pretty big watts here. But I was like, no, I'm not playing that game, and jump on here. Number 4 was telling me you've got to be closer to the wheel, and he's right. I get right there, but then I decided, okay, let's push the pace up here a bit. I got aero. We need to catch these guys. And yeah, I did a reasonable effort here, and I felt pretty good actually. My position was good. Yeah, the bike, as I have said before, is quite dialed in. And I did a reasonable pull here. I think I looked around and maybe there was a gap. I don't know, that might have been later. No, yeah, and then 40 comes up. Okay, so I'm like, I'll jump on this. But this was all about pulling back that other group. Because what's the point if we're going to be racing for nothing? And I needed to push up a bit harder here just so I could get in the draft quicker. I think burning quite a few matches just being off a little bit. I'll put my cadence on next time. I'm interested to know what cadence I'm doing. 40s was reasonably slow back there. But yeah, I could be closer. My cadence is higher, I think. It's annoying. I want to push myself forward just watching this. It must be. It's hard to watch when you're like, why aren't you going closer? There we go. Okay, and then they were countering. Oh, look, I mean, I'm pretty happy with my fitness here. That was a reasonably big effort for me, and I'm still backing it up. Yeah, they're countering after that, and oh, okay. Did I chase down another one? Whoa! I wonder I was tired. I knew this was coming back though. Still, it took a bit of effort. That's number 50 there. Top 5 finish. He came through, thankfully. Well, I didn't get on his wheel, but that all came back together nicely. And this is a good position for me. Still too far off the wheel, but I think I was pretty tired. I think I need to just push that little bit extra. I got aero here too. Oh, there it is. Look at that twitch. I think 41 slowed down quite dramatically, and then Freight Train was behind him and just had to respond really quickly. But I haven't seen that happen very often. Look at this. Yeah, this is good. Like he's pushing to catch them. Great work. And I am losing the wheel. Oh, you can see them. That's why. Oh, catch up. Oh. I think I was just really tired. I was just hoping that would slow down, but still, I did have the energy to do it, and we've caught them. So that was a double. We caught the group. There were 2 groups up ahead, and now we're coming up to the second one. So that was good teamwork there. People taking their turns, and then 40. And I've still got more power here. Like I'm pretty happy with this. And now I'm like, we're here now. Let's just do it. But at this point, I'm kind of feeling like I'm a domestic, in the sense that and using a lot of my energy up, and I'm kind of knowing that at the end there probably is going to be not much of a snap. 40 gets aero, and in the end there's something interesting happens, because it's me and 40. He would have been in third position, I was in fourth, and you'll see what happens. So he's still doing a bit of work to get there, and I'm still too far off the tyre. Just go. Sometimes when I'm Zwift training, I will watch these videos back and I'll be doing a pacer ride, and then I would look at my graph and I spike power in parts in the video where like the end, so the pacer, I'll take over the pacer bot because I'll be pushing, and particularly when I'm not on someone's wheel well enough, when I'm training on the Zwift, I'll be pushing forward and spiking power like I'm in the race. It's pretty fun. Even when I'm aware that I'm watching a race and thinking about them on Zwift, I still do it. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's all welded back together now. And there's number 38, which I think it was him. Yeah, see, I couldn't drink up this hill. It's just not the spot for me. But I suppose that's just experience. .64 grinding the big gears there. And then I'm much better on my bars now. And now obviously the distance and the speed has died. I don't know why, as he mentioned earlier, and now like I think am I going to go after this guy? Why didn't anyone chase him there? That's interesting. He comes back, probably because we've got a team member there who's slowing everything down. It's pretty obvious. That's why we're going off the back here. I mean, he's doing a lot of work out in the wind there. We really should have been with him. Maybe we could have brought in the front two guys. But there was a bit of disruption, as I was saying, with the other team member. Plus it was fast and everyone was tired. But my heart rate's come down. I think the legs were tired from the efforts. Whoa. I remember that. I was like, that was a bit close. And then I went super wide here. Not good lines at the moment. What's going on? Alright, I think I decided no. I know what this guy's doing. He's screwing us up. So we're going to go... I decided to get past him and catch up with this crew. And I'm pretty sure that that team guy comes with me. Not long to go now. I think there's about 7 minutes or 8 minutes of racing left. Seeing as we don't have any indication of how far things have got to go. You can see there's a bit of vibration in this road. It's still a great track, but it does pay to have the tyres a little lower. And I decided I'm going to follow number 40. I believe 64, his name's Alex, and he was on that as well. There was a bit of rim brake conversation. He's rocking rim brakes, which I think are still more aero than disc. And really, on a day like today, there's no rain. Not a massive difference. Okay. That's better. To be fair, I am actually closer than it looks because of the wide angle lens, but I'm still not close enough. It's getting a bit like weavy here. I suppose people didn't want to run into each other, but we know we're getting close. I think the bell's coming soon. So what's going on here? Well, I'm in 6th position at the moment. There's 2 off the front. No, wrong. There's 3 up the front. 2 team, 1 ex-A grader who's still with them, which would have been fun. I think that's what's going on. Or potentially 3 team members up there. I would say second last lap. I wasn't feeling terrible, but I was aware that I wasn't going to have a mega kick. So I was thinking, maybe I should stay up near the front, try and get some distance, because I probably won't be able to stay with the people who still have a strong sprint left in them. this was welcomed to chill here a little bit, but hang on a minute, is that a team member on the front there? It is. And I remember starting thinking, yes, this is exactly what they want. They'll slow it down, and then I wanted to get past him because I just didn't want him stuffing up the pace. Just get in there. Oh, I think he was right next to me, that's why I couldn't get in. Yeah. Just disrupting. So I was like, I'll get away from him, and then I'm pretty sure he comes back. This is where I want to be, close like this. I've noticed that everyone tends to stay seated here. This is the 5%, according to Strava. And then 40, he's very good aero and sustained efforts. I think he was off the front there for a while. Is that the team? Of course it is, yeah. Yeah, this was annoying. And get on the wheel. And him and I think this is the fun. Is it? Well, it's the composition of the final lap. Anyway, and then there's just this sort of back and forth thing, and then 40. I'm thinking maybe, yeah, we can draft together, get something going on, but it was obviously disrupted fairly heavily. I think we've given up on catching the guys up front now. Okay, so we're heading down here, and I'm on the tail of 105. The team guy and 40's there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll stick on these guys, and then 40 just fades and goes to the left. I was like, what the hell's going on here? I should have followed 105, but I just did not expect that to happen, and so I had to put down the watts. I asked 40 later, like, what happened there? And he's like, I just didn't have the power for it. I was like, oh god, I thought he was working for the team for a second there, because it just screwed me up. And yeah, I just lost all draft, basically. And then the team clashed, apparently, and that's how I beat them at the line here. But the main team member, he won the race, and then there was one guy behind him, and then the two team members clashed, and stuffed themselves up. I stuffed that end up. Should have followed the team guy, but I sort of was hoping to jump on 40 if he was going to keep going and then pop past. But I think he was just spent and he was like, I'm out. It's like, oh, okay. So that's something to remember. If you're enjoying these videos, please like, and if you want to, subscribe. Next week is Eastern Creek full course, I believe, and hopefully I will have the speed and the location and all of that stuff working. So catch you next week.